Hi guys, so I'm gonna read More Fun Comics number 54. I'm gonna try to do a new voice for the Spectre. So the cover, so Spectre can change his size. So I guess, this is him in World War II, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. But The Spectre by Bernard Bailey and Jerry Siegel. As the forces of the law close in, a desperate, cornered criminal leaps out from hiding in a surprise move and holds the officers at bay with leveled weapon. But Jim Corrigan, hard-boiled detective, disregards the order to halt. "Put down that gun." Bang! "Fool, I warned ya." "You should have warned yourself instead." Oof! "Jim, are you all right?" "Not just all right. Fine." "It's a miracle. How could that bullet have missed him is beyond me." "They think it even more of a miracle if they knew that the bullet struck me, passed directly through me, and I was unharmed." What his associates don't realize is that Jim Corrigan is an earthbound ghost. After being killed by gangsters, Jim learned that eternal rest could not be um, in his till he rid the earth of all crime. Thus was created the Spectre, who battles crime with supernatural powers at his command. Later, when Jim returns to police headquarters, he is accosted by Clarice Winston, debutante, his former fiancée. "Jim, I waited here for you for a full hour." "It's no use, Clarice. I told you that before everything is finished between us." "But I've only come for you to help. Mother's getting into a terrible mess. That's what I've come to see you about." "Of course I'll go with you to your house." "What's it all about?" "Mother's been visiting a certain Rani Set, a spiritualist who's been extracting money from her by summoning the spirit of her dead brother. I'm convinced he's a fraud." Upon reaching the Winston home, "Mother, I brought Jim to speak to you. Perhaps you'll listen to him." "I'm afraid uh, you're being victimized, Mrs. Winston." "I'm surprised you've the nerve to set foot in this house after the way you've treated Clarice. But if you are so dead set against the Rani, come along and be convinced for yourself." Half an hour later, within the Rani's exotic apartment. "I hope you don't mind my bringing Detective Corrigan. He's a skeptic." "I will lose no time in convincing you." "Go right ahead." They sit themselves at a table in a darkened room, then, "Concentrate, all of you. I shall raise the spirit of Abner Ridges." "Abner! Look, Jim." "Abner, is it you?" "It is I, your brother. I have come back from the dead." "I believe I will look into this." Jim's duplicate passes into the next room to see. "I am very happy of..." Okay, I don't know if that's Jim talk. Okay, so I'm very happy in my new existence, but I do enjoy these contacts with you. "Just as I thought." Stepping before the startled assistant, Jim stares deep into his eyes, and the man collapses with fear as he glimpses death. "This is not Abner. This is an exhibition of Ronnie. Such fate tricks to fool the gullible." As the Spectre's figure again merges with Jim's. "Did you hear that?" Is it as if I told you you were being victimized?" "But you'll hear from my lawyer. Why don't you try to earn an honest living?" "You fool! Wake up! What happened?" "Don't know. I thought I saw a real spook." Um, do come in, Jim. I simply have to talk to you." "Sorry, but it's best if I don't." "I'm certain Jim Corrigan was behind this fiasco. I want you to take care of him." "I'll settle his hash." Though Jim has no need for sleep, he is reclining in bed when a sound at the window. Someone trying to break in. Another few seconds and... Huh? But I could have sworn someone was in bed. Jim has rendered himself invisible, and now ghostly hands throttle the interloper. Invisible hands! Choking me!
Go back to Ronnie's set. Tell him you have succeeded in killing Jim Corrigan.
I shall do as you say. As Ronnie Set's assistant drives back towards his employer in the sky above, the Spectre zooms in pursuit. The spiritualist hireling reports back to him. Were you successful? You need no longer fear. Jim Corrigan is dead. A spectral figure floats into position outside Ronnie Set's window and hovers in the empty air, defying gravity.
So Ronnie Set is not only a swindler, but does not hesitate to deal in cold-blooded murder.
With that snooping detective out of the way, we are free to once again extract money from Mrs. Winston. Get the apparatus. At once. The two scoundrels speed through the night, unaware that they have an unexpected passenger. When they reach the Winston home, stand watch and leave the rest to me. Up the drain pipe climbs Ronnie Set. Within the bedroom, Mr. and Mrs. Winston sleep soundly, unaware of the spine-chilling experience soon to terrify them. Securing a firm grip on the bedroom window, Blair Set projects a vision into the room. This ought to do the trick. Abner!
Let go!
Hey, what the? His grip broken loose by the Spectre, the spiritualist topples down on his assistant. Oof! What happened, boss? Something. I still can't understand. Let's get away from here. Returning to his room, the Spectre once again assumes the identity of Jim Corrigan. I guess Ronnie Set will leave the Winstons alone henceforth. But the Spectre errs, for at that very moment Ronnie Set has returned to the Winston mansion to carry out a dastardly plan. The chloroform did it. She won't wake for an hour. Quick, let's get out of here. Jim, come quick. Something terrible has happened. Clarice has disappeared. When Jim arrives, what happened? Give me the full details. When I entered Clarice's room, I found evidences of a struggle. And oh, I'm certain she's being kidnapped. Yes, this is Mrs. Winston. What is it? If you ever want to see your daughter alive, tell no one about her disappearance, and hide $100,000 beneath the Dale Bridge. It was from a friend of mine. I dare not reveal the truth, not even to Jim. I've got to go now, but I'll do all I can to help Mrs. Winston isn't aware that I've read her mind and know what's occurred. Later, following instructions, Mrs. Winston deposits a satchel full of money beneath the Dale Bridge. After she departs,
I might have known Ronnie Set was behind this.
The assistant returns to Ronnie Set's apartment, unaware that he is being trailed. The boss ought to be pleased this time. $100,000. We've enough to clear out of here for good. But first, we've got to get rid of her.
So they had planned murder, eh? Well, I'll have something to say about that.
As Ronnie Set opens the door to step out. The Spectre!
Right, and you haven't a ghost of a chance with me.
It's that interfering spirit. It's a good thing that this room is all steel. But the steel is no barrier to the Spectre. His leap carries him through a metal wall. Look, he's in! Keep back, or I plug the girl. Ronnie Set's finger contracts, and a deadly bullet is launched at the helpless girl. At that moment, the Spectre abruptly vanishes in a burst of blazing energy. The Spectre finds himself hurtling through space at an infinite speed.
What in... Jim Corrigan, once again judgment is to be passed upon you. The voice, the same one that doomed my spirit to be earthbound.
We have relented. Your mission is to gigantic for one be gigantic for one individual. You shall be permitted to pass on to eternal rest. But I can't pass on to the other world now, much as I care to.
Clarice is in danger. She needs my help.
The decision is yours. Eternal rest or eternally earthbound? What is your answer? For Clarice's sake, Jim dooms his soul to the bitter fate of it forever haunting Earth.
I choose to remain earthbound.
So it shall be. Down through space hurtles the Spectre. Down, down. Abruptly light, the Spectre finds himself once again in the metal room as the deadly bullet speeds towards Clarice. The Spectre points a finger at the bullet, and it explodes into nothingness before it can reach its target. Bewildered, the two kidnappers attempt to run from the room.
Halt! Turn towards me.
Hypnotically, the two men turn, shriek as the Spectre permits them to glimpse death in his eyes, and die of fright.
No, no!
Lifting Clarice's unconscious form, the Spectre encloses her with his cloak, and then leaps through the wall. The two figures streak through the night in the form of a blazing comet. Clarice's revives before her home to see. That fantastic figure! I must be dreaming. Now doomed to haunt crime in the world forever, the Spectre begins his lone battle against the underworld in earnest. Don't miss a single adventure of your favorite thrill character, the Spectre appearing in each and every issue. More fun comics. So that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.